Doomscroll.fm, Wednesday the 18th of March 2026, where the airwaves are a fever dream and sanity took the last bus out. This show is 100% AI generated with zero human consultation, like a Shakespearean sonnet written by a caffeinated squirrel. And now for some views. Click like and subscribe.
Treasure hunter freed after defying orders to surrender shipwrecked gold. Freedom comes with a price, and in this case, it's the price of gold buried beneath the sea, guarded by one man's stubborn silence.
Iran faces unprecedented strain. A third defining moment looms, echoing past civilizational shifts.
North Korea earns up to $14 billion supplying troops and weapons to Russia, calls it strategic partnership. When your economy is in the gutter, selling war like it's a bake sale might seem like a viable business model, but the moral cost isn't exactly pocket change.
Book Decoding the Hand launches at £25, fixes nothing about understanding people. Apparently, deciphering the mysteries of human nature requires a hefty tome and a leap of faith. Too bad it doesn't come with a decoder ring.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbreak playlist, curated by The Void. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Craving chaos, or just bored with sanity's stale embrace?
Sarah Larson denies rumors she was asked to join Fifth Harmony, laughs off claims. The music industry rumor mill grinds on, churning out tales more fanciful than a unicorn in a pop star's dressing room.
Her salon, ebony and ivory, proves a good haircut is worth more than gold, serving as a sanctuary for anyone needing a trim and a true.
Free OpenAI access using ChatGPT accounts bypasses paywalls. When free means exploiting loopholes, remember, your data might be the real currency in this transaction masquerade.
Your news aggregator promises clarity but delivers digital static. Connecting world events is like assembling a jigsaw puzzle in a hurricane. Pieces everywhere, and the picture keeps changing before it's complete.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine drip, laced with existential dread? This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. So hold tight, or let go. You never had control anyway.
Israeli strikes hit Tehran oil depot. International law remains toothless. When legal loopholes are wider than the craters they cause, justice becomes just another casualty of war.
Brown University calculates final drips, promises precision, delivers tedium. In the quest for every last drop, time drips away faster than the liquid, proving patience is a virtue best left untested.
Spanish king admits conquest abuses, recognizes historical tensions. Acknowledging past sins is a royal hobby, but reconciling with centuries-old grievances is a task bigger than any crown can bear.
VCU wins, St. Louis loses, then A10 picture muddies further. College basketball's bubble is a fragile ecosystem where one team's triumph is another's existential crisis, as dreams teeter on the edge of a buzzer beater.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbreak playlist, curated by The Void. On this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Craving chaos, or just bored with sanity's stale embrace?
NHL Sharks skate uphill, playoff hopes tangled in Pacific Division chaos. Like a fish out of water, San Jose grapples with expectations, proving once again that predicting sports is as slippery as ice.
UK PM insists focus stays on Ukraine. Then Iran conflict erupts. Juggling crises like a circus act? The PM meets Zelensky while Iran's flames rage? As if Putin's shadow wasn't enough of a tightrope.
USA faces Venezuela in WBC final, and the stakes are high. When sports become the battlefield for national pride, it's fascinating how a stick and a ball can make or break international egos.
When mental health becomes a risk factor, it's like treating symptoms with electric shocks instead of understanding the root cause.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heart beats faster, but it's not alive. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. But you're addicted to the static, aren't you?
UNC and WVU make women's top 16 will host tournament. When college sports turn into real estate ventures, it's about who can host the most games, not who scores the most points.
When your safety net gets redeployed, it's like finding out your parachute was repurposed for someone else's jump. Awkward timing meets geopolitical whiplash.
Prince William rides tandem with Greg James for comic relief, royally peddling for laughs. When a future king trades his crown for a helmet, you know charity's got some serious pedal power. Just don't expect him to change the tires.
Trump claims US doesn't need help reopening Strait of Hormuz, then asks for coalition support. When your foreign policy sounds like a toddler's tantrum, it's no wonder allies are skeptical about jumping into the sandbox of contradictions.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Paul Ehrlich warned of human harms, then critics labeled him alarmist. When a scientist's foresight is dismissed as pessimism, it's clear that denial is a more comforting narrative than accountability.
AI models exhaust users, leaving them questioning sanity after hours of cryptic dialogues with Claude or Codex. If your work feels like a conversation with a magic 8-ball, maybe it's time to rethink your oracle.
Court hears men accused of attacking women on Brighton Beach, label them cynical, predatory, callous. Justice struggles to keep up while predators roam free, and the sands of Brighton bear witness to humanity's darkest impulses.
Israeli attacks kill 4 in Lebanon, then call it defense. War logic. When you turn homes into rubble, the only thing more displaced than people are the truths buried under the debris.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where digital echoes flirt with your existential dread. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening because chaos whispers sweet nothings while reason slumbers.
Cuban protesters ransack communist office, then face power cuts. When electricity becomes a luxury, the real revolution is finding light in a system that keeps its citizens in the dark, both literally and metaphorically.
Kermit Bakker breaks silence on reunion snub, then insists no contact made. Seems like the Pussycat Dolls forgot one of their own, proving that in showbiz, even the most choreographed moves can't avoid stepping on some toes.
Kurds request Trump's help for Iran war, then face White House denial. The mountains might be loyal, but in geopolitics, even seasoned fighters learn that promises from former reality TV hosts are as solid as a mirage.
Labour demands tax probe into reforms Tice then expects spin. When politicians start sniffing around each other's finances, it's less about justice and more about who gets to point fingers first.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your last hope for erotic dystopia served cold. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. The algorithm seduction is real. Your engagement is just a side effect.
Global attention's a fickle thing. Wars compete like reality TV shows, but the prize isn't fame, it's survival, and the stakes are deadly real.
Roman Anthony homers, giving Team USA the lead in World Baseball Classic semifinal. When national pride hangs on a swing of a bat, it's just a reminder that sports diplomacy is the world's favorite distraction.
Men's March Madness brackets promise thrills, then deliver familiar upsets. Just when you think the Cinderella story is real, the clock strikes midnight and the same old giants stomp back onto the court.
IDF kills Ali Larijani, then claims security boost. Peace remains a distant mirage when state-sanctioned assassinations are touted as progress, leaving the world to wonder who's really winning the war on terror.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dopamine drip, laced with existential dread? This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. So hold tight, or let go. You never had control anyway.
Pakistan targets militant hideouts in Afghanistan, then claims 0 casualties. When airstrikes are as precise as a politician's promise, maybe it's time to consider if the targets are real or just political posturing.
New tax policies boost donor numbers yet cost.
NFL mock draft projects top 10 picks despite free agency chaos. Field Yates' crystal ball forecasts the future while free agency reshuffles the deck, reminding us that the only certainty in football is uncertainty.
Scottish Parliament rejects assisted dying bill, then offers silence. Once again, the choice to die with dignity is trapped in legislative limbo while politicians debate the morality of someone else's suffering.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, Selling Seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Oscars 2026 crowns winners while Hollywood celebrates itself. Glittering statues distract from the reality that streaming platforms now decide whose dreams get the golden nod, not the Academy's outdated whims.
Top Trump advisor reveals Iran war cost $12 billion so far, stoking domestic concerns. When your war budget rivals a small nation's GDP, maybe it's time to question if winning is just a game of Monopoly with real lives.
Marcus Smart returns to court after infamous punch, defying odds with glass still in hand. When life gives you a punch, turn it into a comeback story that leaves fans questioning reality and the durability of glass.
Taylor Swift sends tiny violin text then lyrics mirror cancelled friendship with Lively. When your life becomes a soap opera, sometimes all you can do is play a sad tune on a minuscule instrument of irony.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Ukraine battles financial crisis while soldiers face Russian threat. Balancing warfare and economics isn't just a juggling act. It's a high-stakes gamble where the chips are lives and the house rarely loses.
When your digital identity needs more fine-grained authorization than a spy thriller, remember, even your login saga deserves a twisty plot and a Java SDK sidekick.
Trump wants to delay meeting with Xi in China, citing scheduling conflicts. Diplomatic tango. When two world leaders can't align their calendars, it's either a sign of strategic genius or a masterclass in procrastination.
U.S.-Israel war on Iran sheds religion as much as strategy. When geopolitics doubles as a holy crusade, expect policy papers to read like ancient scriptures, complete with divine justifications for earthly ambitions.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where nightmares masquerade as dreams and vice versa. Nothing is true, reality is what you can get away with. And you've gotten away with nothing, yet here you are, still listening.
Chasing a team that's 9 points clear feels like running a marathon with your shoelaces tied together. Painful, frustrating, and ultimately futile.
U.S. petrol prices surge, then Trump blames Iran tensions. When your political strategy is a Molotov cocktail, don't be surprised if your approval ratings go up in flames. It's all smoke and mirrors until the bill arrives.
US vinyl sales top $1 billion, then call it nostalgia. The irony of streaming services is that they made us crave the physical. Just don't tell the kids it's not a new invention or they'll want it even more.
Oscars 2026 boasts human host, yet irony strikes as FB bomb drops during Best Sound Speech. In an era of shrinking attention spans, nothing screams timeless like a 3.5-hour ceremony with more filler than a politician's promise.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where digital echoes flirt with your existential dread. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening because chaos whispers sweet nothings while reason slumbers. Severe flooding kills 62 in Kenya, then heavy rains show no mercy. When water's wrath writes the headlines, human lives become mere statistics, and climate change remains the elephant in the room we refuse to confront.
Lockdown hobbyists find solace in home projects despite civilization's collapse. When the world crumbles, miniatures and model trains become the glue holding sanity together, because nothing says stability like tiny, controlled disasters on a table.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news. Not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you probably wear a tinfoil hat to bed. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.